Hello, beautiful moms and entrepreneurs. My name is Charisse Walker, and I'm your host of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. This is a place where we come together to learn, grow, and inspire. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Well, hello, Unbreakable Mompreneurs. Today I am here with Win Charles. I'm so excited because she has written several books and has a lot to offer and advice to give us. So, Win, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, good afternoon, you guys. My name is Win Charles. For those of you that haven't stuck around me long enough to know that I have cerebral palsy, and for those of you who are thinking, what did she just say? She has what? Cerebral palsy is a lack of oxygen injury at birth, and cerebral palsy is it's a neurological condition, and I have ataxia, cerebral palsy, but you guys don't need to remember this as Chelsea and I discussed my life journey. I also have a podcast, a CEO with a disability, meaning it's focused on the education of caregivers and the disabled alike, but it's more focused on education about all disabilities, including cerebral palsy.
And is it true that you didn't even know that you had cerebral palsy until you were in 7th grade? Or
that is true. And God bless my mom. I lost her in 2010, but the way my mom put it, and the reason why I say God bless my mom, is because I was going to a private school and did what they call mainstreaming. And that year we decided to give up on my one-on-one aid. Going into 7th and 8th grade, we decided that I was capable enough to go do school without a one-on-one aid. So, of course, my mom drove me to school that day. I was supposed to take the bus, I think, and my mom decided to drive me. But this morning, the vibes in the air were weird. My mom was very, very quiet, and I didn't know why. So by the time she dropped me off at school, I knew why she was quiet. She was trying to figure out how to tell me the news that would change my life, and which most parents do. They either sit their kids down and either tell white lies or not tell them the honest truth until they're older, or just think about it as they're not cooking dinner or not paying attention. But by the time she dropped me off at school, she looked at me straight in the face, pulled to the top of a driveway, and said, "Win, you have CP. Now, you have CP." And I'm like, okay. And she says, it affects your body. She didn't tell me it's a neurological condition that affects your brain. You need help for the rest of your life. She didn't tell me that. She told me you have CP, and then she said it affects your body. Now, the next thing she said was, go have a great day. I'll see you later. And she drops me off at school. And I'm thinking, Mom, why did you do that? Why didn't you just give your one and only child the news that would change your life and then say, go have a great day? I don't think so. And so, yeah, that was a good one. And so fast forward, me being the curious kid and me knowing how to get on Google, I did a little bit of research myself. And I typed in, what is CP? And it came up with the word cerebral palsy. And I'm thinking, oh boy. And it said 80 million babies at the time are diagnosed with CP. And it can impact the child's life. I'm thinking, oh boy, it's the green monster that I can't control. And the reason why I say the green monster that I can't control is because CP's national color is green. Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month is in March, for those of you that want to know that, fun fact. And so I said, okay, I have CP. Now I know, and a little research I did on it, I know at least now what I have, what it's called, and I know that it will impact my life. Well, fast forward again, I graduated high school. By the way, I was mainstreamed in high school up through college, got my first degree mainstream, and I had IEP, individualized education plan, even college, and I am still working on a journalism degree. Like, fast forward, my dad dies in 2019, and I get emotionally and physically abused by a female. She happened to be my mom's sister, my godmother. She abused me because she didn't like my care. Well, at that time, I didn't know why I was receiving care. I didn't know why I needed help because I didn't know that CP was a neurological condition, and I didn't know that it could impact the brain waves and the brain itself. And so, yeah, that's what all started that.
So
And dressing.
so you didn't know till what, 4 years ago, what CP is and how
I didn't know until my dad died,
Okay.
2019.
And so I think that that's something, for our listeners to hear is that, I mean, kudos to your mom that she treated you quote unquote normal, right? She didn't want you to feel like you were different. However, the fact is that you were different and you didn't know how to handle that. So you wish that if you could go back in time, what I'm hearing you say is that you wish that people would have sat you down and explained it to you so that you could understand how you were thinking, how you were feeling, and how that might be different and how you could get help. Is that right?
Correct. And at the age of 6, whenever you're on second grade, I was on the city soccer team. My dad put me on the city soccer team. They wanted me to be active with all my friends. They also taught me how to ski at 3 years old.
Wow.
Yes, I learned how to ski at 3 years old. Now many years later, put me in a bike ski, and I'm phenomenal at it. Mono ski put me in a sit ski, and I'm phenomenal at it.
Wow.
But yes, because my school at the time, as part of their physical education program, they take the kids skiing, and they start these kids in preschool. So obviously, me being a student at the school, I was able to go skiing. And my friends totally accepted that I was different, and they didn't bully me. And back in the 90s, there were no books. Back in the 90s, I went to school without the Americans with Disabilities Act when it comes to the ADA and Americans with Disabilities Act. So you could not find books on CP. You cannot find podcasts on CP. You cannot find information on CP back in the 90s. So, of course, I was educating my friends / the adults who taught me. I was really lucky to have teachers that were trained in special ed even before they met me. And I was a good kid. All my problems were physical. I didn't have any emotional problems. And so, looking back on it, when you're on the soccer team with all your friends, you try to kick the soccer ball, it goes sideways. You almost fall over because you gave it a good hard kick. You know something is wrong with your body because you're watching all these able-bodied, no typical kids kick the soccer ball. One, the soccer ball doesn't go sideways. Two, and more importantly, when they give it a good strong kick, they don't almost fall over backwards.
Yeah.
So I knew something by the time soccer season hit. I knew something was wrong, but I did it anyway, just because um, my parents wanted me to do it, and I wanted to keep up with my friends anyway. I am still like this. Give me a challenge, I take it on head first.
I think that's fantastic. And you've overcome a lot. And so I think your message today is you wanted to help educate people on what cerebral palsy is and living with a disability, and that, you can do things, that you don't have to use it as an excuse, but you also need to understand what it is. Right. And so is that why you have your podcast did your podcast?
Yes. To educate people.
And what's the name of it?
A CEO with a disability.
CEO with a disability?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
And if you go to my website, I'll Google my name, or Google the CEO with a disability.weebelieve.com. All my information should pop up. If you Google my name, Win Charles, all that information should pop up.
That's good. And then the last question I have is, what's one piece of advice that you would give to people who do not have a disability?
Oh, when they meet a disabled person, try and talk to them. Don't judge a book by its cover. When you see a person with cancer, or when you see a person that has a disability in general, try and talk to them, not the aide or the daughter or the family member that's pushing them. Try and talk to them. I mean, I have friends in my life that cannot speak, that use assistive devices, and they love it when I don't use the assistive devices. I speak to them. And people ask me all the time, how? Why? How? Because they're disabled. They can't understand you. I'm like, oh, yes, I can. I have one friend who is a paraplegic, and every time I see him in person, I talk directly to him. He lights up every time I talk to him because he can understand everything that I say.
Yeah. And I think, I appreciate that. And I'm glad that you said that, because we all have struggles in our lives. And so some are on the outside, like yours is, others are on the inside. And so learning that every single person matters, and that we should treat each other normally, and just like we would want to be treated, is something that we really need to take hold of. I really do commend you. I appreciate you coming on the podcast and telling us about your story, and telling us about your disability, and educating us on that. And so,
and another thing I wanted to say before we end this recording is to all the moms out there, because this is Unbreakable Mom Entrepreneurs podcast. Thank you very much. Teach your kids not to stare and gawk at the disabled person. That drives me nuts. That the young kids will gawk and stare at me just because I'm in a wheelchair and they haven't seen a wheelchair before. And then when I say hi or wave back, just stun out of their minds. So either you get books to teach them about disabilities, or
listen to your podcast.
I don't listen to my podcast, number one, or just I'm trying to say, let's make this world a better place, but let's eliminate the stares of the disabled. I mean, I'm sure it drives other people nuts, but just eliminate the stares. And the kids do it, and I know they don't mean anything to you guys. I know. I mean, I'm not trying to bash on cute little kids, but everyone just needs a little bit more common sense.
Well, I think sometimes when something's different, they like, you like to try to see it a little differently sometimes. So, all right. Yeah. Well, thank you. And I hope that
thank you.
The journey that you've been on can serve as an inspiration for other people, that, we all can be a little kinder. But I'm happy that you were treated so well by your friends and family. So congratulations.
I hope so too. I hope so too.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Beautiful moms, remember, you are unbreakable. Keep illuminating the world with your strength, pursuing your dreams, and reveling in the splendor of motherhood. This is Charisse Walker, bidding you farewell for now. Stay tuned for more empowering conversations on the next episode of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. Until then, keep shining bright. Signing off with love, Charisse Walker.